Hi guys, so welcome to March. We are in one of the most transformative months of this year. It's definitely going to be intense. There'll be a lot of shifts of energy coming up. And right today, we're starting off with Venus conjuncting Jupiter. Jupiter is also within a degree conjunction with Chiron. So if we put all these together, Venus, Jupiter, and Chiron, all in a sign of Aries, that is a very interesting mix together because obviously we had both Venus and Jupiter going through the sign of Pisces recently. And that was all about letting go, realizing what no longer has a meaning for us in regards to our values, how we relate to ourselves, relate to others, and what do we need to let go of in order to make a space for these new things to come into our life. And again, we are still in a month of Pisces. So there is a lot of confusion, a lot of feeling of being lost, perhaps, where we don't know the direction, we don't know exactly where we're heading. But Venus making this conjunction with Jupiter is very profound because Jupiter will actually enter the sign of Taurus in May, which is ruled by Venus, and that will happen just after Venus have made a conjunction with Uranus and the North Node. That will all be happening within the next couple of months. And like I said, we have a very transformative month this month with all the big shifts, Saturn changing sign, Pluto changing sign, Mars changing sign. Obviously, Venus will be moving into the sign of Taurus very shortly. And Mercury will change signs twice. It is just about to move into the sign of Pisces after it will have made conjunction with Saturn, which will happen tomorrow. And then will actually also move into sign of Aries also this month. So Mercury will not hang around in Pisces very long. So anyway, all that said, what I really wanted to bring to people's attention is that obviously with this Venus being the most important planet, one of the most important planet this year, because she's the ruler of the north, and then it will become a ruler of the south node. So it's all about our karmic axis and where as a society we are heading. And her conjuncting Jupiter, from the traditional astrology point of view, this is both being benefic signs. This is very auspicious. It's very good when Venus conjunct Jupiter because it's like a double whammy benefic signs, benefic planets. However, Venus in a sign of Aries are telling us that there is an instinctual need for a new direction when it comes to how we relate to ourselves and to others and what matters to us, what is important to us. Like I've been repeatedly talking about, there is definitely a reevaluation of priorities in our life, reevaluation of our relationships, like what serves us or what doesn't serve us anymore. And this entire year will be in this flavor, like I said before also, especially it will become prominent when the nodal axis of the moon, the karmic axis of the Pluto, south and the north node, will move into the axis of Aries and Libra, which will happen this summer in July. And with this Venus-Jupiter conjunction, it actually reminds me of this video from Teal Swan, which have been released a few weeks ago. And I also shared this video because it was, to me, very profound, where Teal explains how it is very difficult for people to change because if you come to a realization that something, like you change a perception of reality, which is very, very much Jupiter archetype, the way through which how we see the world, because our truth obviously affect the reality we manifest. It's our perception of the reality, it's our cosmos, it's our cosmology, our truth, our subjective truth, how we see reality. And that obviously I always say that you will find the proof for whatever you believe. Whatever is your belief, you will find the proof for it. So that's why it's very subjective. And obviously, with this conjunction today, that, like I said, reminds me of what Teal Swan was talking about, because she said that if you admit to yourself that something that you've believed until this point is no longer working for you, it causes a crisis, because that one belief can change your entire life. It will have to restructure your entire life. If you make adjustments based on certain beliefs, they have the power to shift your entire life. And I feel more of this kind of energy today with this conjunction because, as I said, Jupiter went through the sign of Pisces recently, where he met with Neptune. So that was all about dissolving of these outdated beliefs, structures and systems. And now Jupiter is in the sign of Aries, so that is an instinctual desire for a new knowledge, for a new direction in regards to what is our truth, what is this perception of reality, how we see the world, and how do we want to bring higher meaning into our life, because obviously with the conjunction with Neptune is all about higher meaning and purpose, right? That is to do with Leo. And Venus just gone through the sign of Pisces herself and made a conjunction with Neptune. Also, she made a lot of other aspects from that point, sextile to Pluto, where she, found her empowerment, like, yes, let's go for it. And now, obviously, this Venus is conjuncting Jupiter. So Jupiter is all already enthusiastic and exciting to go in this new direction, like maybe over-enthusiastic, like, yeah, I have this new truth. Let's go and act on it. Let's go and create this new reality of a deep meaning and stuff. And Venus is like, hey, hold on, I just had to have some recognition of some things that don't serve me anymore. And I have to let go of these things. And, it's not necessarily easy because to shift my perception of reality, I'll have to let go of a lot of things I'm attached to, right? And this Jupiter, like I said, it will move into the sign of Taurus, where I believe it will remain for the remainder of this year. Yes, it will, because it will make a conjunction with Uranus in Taurus in April next year. So Jupiter will be in the sign of Taurus for a long time, and Taurus is ruled by Venus. So I see this conjunction today as kind of like a premonition of that energy. Perhaps people are having deeper understanding and realization of, perhaps it's not even tangible yet, because obviously things become more tangible in Taurus, which is earth sign. The sign of Aries is cardinal, so it's all these fantastic ideas. We have all these fire in us and instinctual desire to do something, to go and follow some purpose, but we don't necessarily know how, because it's a very baby energy, very new energy. And with Venus, conjuncting Jupiter here, she's bringing it like this flavor, like, yeah, it can happen, we can manifest this, but there is still things that we need to do in order to get there, because we have all these grand ideas, but how are we going to ground it? How are we going to make it into manifestation, right? Bring it into manifestation. And that's what Jupiter will be doing in a sign of Taurus from May this year until, next year. So it will remain in a sign of Taurus for a long time. And then that's the place where Jupiter will try to manifest all these new ideas, ground this new direction, which it wants to be heading into. And as I mentioned, Venus will shortly move into the sign of Taurus herself, where she will conjunct first the North Node, and then also Uranus. So this is again like, the acknowledgement of this is the direction we're heading into, and Uranus shake things up and again maybe cracks few foundations, and it will go like, hey, in order to make this happen, you have to individuate yourself, you have to work on yourself, you have to trust yourself, stand up for yourself, love yourself, because that's where it all comes from, our relationship to ourselves, right? So anyway, so this is what I'm intuitively feeling into this aspect. I'm not saying that this is 100% truth. Other people might see it differently. Like I said, from the traditional astrology, Venus conjuncting Jupiter is very, very good. It's very good omen, because obviously they are both benefic planets. And in a sign of Aries, they both very enthusiastic, very fiery, right? Very feisty, especially Venus in sign of Aries, very feisty, right? But I feel that this is something to give us an idea about something bigger that will want to be birthed once Jupiter goes into the sign of Taurus, where it will remain for a long time, and it will have time to work on this. And obviously, it will conjunct Uranus there, so shake things up again. Again, perhaps our beliefs and foundations will be turned upside down. Who knows? Who knows what's going to happen in the upcoming year? But like I said, this is a very interesting first aspect we have in this month, which will be full of new energy. And Venus obviously conjunct in Jupiter. The cycle between Venus and Jupiter is being closed from the last year. And now a new cycle is beginning. So I believe it's all about the beliefs, right? And again, I want to bring attention to this video from Teal Swan. Actually, I will link it because I think it's very important in regards of this aspect, where she says that if people will want to change, it is not so easy, because a lot of things that we are used to and attached to will have to go, will have to be dissolved, which is Pisces, right? Still in a sign of Pisces. Sun is still in a sign of Pisces, but more and more planets are now moving into the sign of Aries, and we'll have a big crescendo there as the time goes on. Even the first eclipse of the year on the 20th of April will be still in a sign of Aries on the 29 degrees. So this is all telling us there are a lot of new beginnings, a lot of new energies coming into forefront, that want to be birthed and grounded, that want to be put into manifestation. And this is just the first aspect. This is the beginning. And tomorrow we'll have Mercury conjuncting Saturn on a 29 degrees of Aquarius, just before Mercury moves into Pisces. And then Saturn will move into Pisces in 5 days. So like I said, all very new energies. And it will bring obviously positives and negatives with it, because the energy is neutral. How we use it is up to us. But there definitely is a lot of sense of nebulousness, where people might feel confused and a little bit lost. They don't quite know what to do, what to believe, where to go, which direction. But I think from my experience and the people I'm interacting with, everybody feels this like a pressure, that there are new things coming and there will be new choices having to be made in order for us to go forward with these energies. And it's scary. It's scary because it threatens the ego, it threatens the foundation, it threatens this identity we created for ourselves and the comfort zone. Obviously, Taurus is also about the comfort. It wants to enjoy life, right? The sensory experience. And that all will be put to the test. So so Venus conjuncting Jupiter, I believe, is giving us kind of a little bit of a premonition in regards to what we feel that really matters to us, so much that we actually will be willing to look at the world from a different point of view, adopt maybe different truths and different directions, and what we'll have to make, what we'll have to do and change in order to achieve that, in order to go into that direction, to follow that new truth, and what we'll have to adjust, let go of, and perhaps let go of certain aspects of our comfort zone, or certain things that we are attached to that don't have space for us in the future. Or maybe it's an acknowledgement of how are we slaves to the things that we are attached to, the material things, and the things that we feel that we need to have in order to be happy, but then it still just creates this void, because the external can never fulfill the void that is within us. But that's conversation for another time, even though it is very Piscean conversation. But anyway, 13 minutes in, guys. I'm gonna leave it at that. I just wanted to give an acknowledgement to the two benefics, Venus and Jupiter, which are also, Jupiter is all about expansion. So, right, let's make this expansion to be all about love, self-love and love to the other, of course, as well. But the most important aspect is the self-love, the relationship we have to ourselves, because that then influences all the relationships around us, relationship that we have towards everything and anyone else around us. So yeah, let this Jupiter conjuncting Venus to expand the positive aspects to of this three-dimensional reality. But anyway, we'll see what happens once Jupiter moves into sign of Taurus in May, and the story obviously continues. It will unveil one layer on the top of each other, and we'll get the picture as the time goes on, and especially once we look backwards. That's usually how I see it. We don't know what's happening in a moment. We find the integration of it when we look back of what actually have happened. So I'll leave it at that, guys. Thank you for listening. Much love to everyone. Again, welcome to March, and get ready. Things are about to get interesting. Okay, much love. Bye.